All right, Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish.
So good.
Yeah, man.
I'm pumped about this one, man.
She's got a good approach, obviously,
Love it.
with her creativity.
Yeah.
By using her dreams, which is like kind of what all this is. You
Yeah.
know? It's I feel like where a lot of like mediocre musicians get lost is in being way too literal. Right?
Yeah.
They don't know how to use anything figurative. They don't know how to use things that are just kind of like let you kind of interpret it a little bit. This has a really good balance between literal and your own interpretation. And it's got the whole thing is kind of not literal. So I think she can be a little literal about this not literal thing.
Yeah.
And it makes it super interesting, like poetic, you know?
Right.
So as we, you know, as she says in the music video right at the beginning, Phineas is my brother and my best friend. No matter the circumstance, we always have and always will be there for each other, which is kind of that's what this surrounds. So this is, and in the music video, he's in the music video. He's the passenger. So man, that's so cool that she's
cool.
like,
And she directed the music video, apparently.
right? Oh man, like she's doing everything, and
So
she's
talented.
got this dedication to like her brother over everything else, which you always wonder how much, you always hear the stories about like producers and like record companies being like so heavy handed that you don't get any,
Right.
She seems to just kind of she's going to do what she wants. I don't know how she got there. Obviously like all this, say in the music she does and in the videos she does.
Right.
You wonder how she got to that point. 'Cause it seems like that's something that's, maybe it's coming back. I don't really know anything about that side, but
She's not controlled, it seems like a lot of people are.
yeah.
She's doing her own thing.
Yeah, well, she gets to have control, whereas a lot of people, I don't even know if they get to have control.
Right.
Like the whole Kesha thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, talk about not having any control and like
Right.
getting caught up in like all this legal ease
Yeah.
before you maybe even understand it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's very refreshing to see these artists like we did Lizzo.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
Lizzo, I think she does everything.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Taylor Swift doesn't own most of her songs.
Right, yeah, because she was younger and she got basically taken
Yeah.
by the man before she
Yeah.
was old enough or popular enough.
Right.
And, you know, so cool. Yeah, well, yeah, let's jump into this.
Let's do it.
Want to read some of this?
I had a dream. I got everything I wanted. Now, what you'd think, not what you'd think, and if I'm being honest,
Yeah, just keep going.
it might have been a nightmare to anyone who might care. Thought I could fly, so I stepped off the golden. Nice. Nobody cried. Nobody even noticed. I saw them standing right there. Kind of thought they might care.
Okay, so I had a dream, got everything I wanted, not what you'd think, if I'm being honest. So, you know, there's that idea that like fame is not,
Yeah.
once you're there,
Yeah.
what is it? What is the fame?
I was listening to Joe Rogan today. He was interviewing a Muay Thai fighter.
Josh Thompson.
Is that who it was?
Yeah. Thompson with no P. I'm Josh Thompson. I know no one knows that.
And he was talking about how there's no such thing as making it.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting to hear someone of that caliber say that.
Yeah.
Because you would think, like, once you're selling out arenas, you're like, dude, I made it. And he's like, no, you got to keep working. There's no such thing as like.
Sure. Well, that's kind of what this whole thing,
Exactly.
right, gets
It's not
into
what you think it
later
would be.
is like pressure. The
Yeah.
pressure from once you make it, then it doesn't get easier. It gets way harder.
Yeah.
And like fighting, man, you put that in context, like fighting. Geez, man. I mean, one bad fight, you can just be done.
Done.
Like you can just be
Done.
done. So at least as a musician, you can come back and throw
Right.
another punch. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
So it might have been a nightmare to anyone who might care. So she talks about how her dreams, kind of mentioned this before, are such a key piece of this. So these are her dreams, right? So she has this dream. She said sometimes she has lots of recurring dreams, which I think that's interesting. Wow. But she says she has dreams that are so vivid that like they can affect her positively, they can affect her negatively for like a long time.
Wow.
I've been getting that lately a lot. I've been writing down my dreams this year.
Yeah.
That's been one of my goals.
Yeah.
And even I woke up this morning just peppered, just like gunshot wound to the head, like because of this dream I had that was just so, it just gave me this feeling, right?
Wow.
And then I came through it, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it ended up being, I think, a good experience, but
Right.
man, like I'm just starting to get a taste of what this might be. right?
Dude, yeah.
So she's having a dream where she's killing herself. She steps off the Golden Gate Bridge.
Right.
That's what this is signifying. Nobody cried. Nobody even noticed. I saw them standing there. I kind of thought they might care.
That feeling of isolation,
Yeah.
I feel when I'm in like crowded cities like New York City or London or
Oh,
downtown
yeah.
Las Vegas, how there's so many people. And it's a little different from what she's talking about, but it's weird how you can be around so many people and feel like completely alone.
Oh,
and I
yeah.
wonder if as a star, she feels that way. You know, she's on stage with tens of thousands of people like cheering for her, but they don't know her. They don't
Yeah.
feel alone.
Well, and look what that's led her to, right? It's led her to cling stronger to the relationships that she knows are real ones because now out there,
Yeah.
what's real out there?
Right.
And it's funny you said that. I've always wanted to live in either two places, the middle of the woods or the middle of New York City or LA, because they're the same. To me, they're the same.
Yeah, I see that.
People or trees, they're all the same. They're all just these things out there that have really no resemblance to you, really, or I guess like no personal relationship with you. Like in a city, it's the same as a forest. Like these are just a bunch of people walking around, or these are just a bunch of trees there.
Right.
You're the same person in that. You're just as seen, right?
That's fascinating.
I've always liked that.
I'd rather do a
idea.
forest. I'd rather be in a forest than a city.
Yeah, I see. I'd rather do both. I'd rather live part of my time in downtown, big city, and one. Instead, I got neither. But I got safety, so I traded it for something. But yeah, man, I had a dream. I got everything I wanted, but when I wake up, I see you with me. So that's relating to her brother. And you say, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. Don't want to lie here, but you can learn to. If I could change the way that you see yourself, you wouldn't wonder why you're here. They don't deserve you. So it's like, you're a star. I know you're a star. There's no reason to wonder why you're a star. I can see you're a star. And these people that you're a star for, don't let them worry you. That's got to be impossible, but like always good advice. Yeah. You know, like you think about any kind of work that you do that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
You're going to have a ton of anxiety about it, especially if it's something that's your own, which both of us do, our own things, right? So I always have this anxiety that I can't get rid of. And I know it's positive because I know what it stems from, but I can't get rid of it. And I can't even imagine that on this level. No. Or maybe it's no worse. Maybe it's just the same. You're just filled with anxiety and you're always looking. Yeah. I guess the difference between low anxiety and high anxiety is the amount of things you can be anxious about. So if you have a couple. Right. I don't know. What's your anxiety?
How do I deal with it?
Or how much do you have? You have to have.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Amount.
Oh, yeah, dude. My life is controlled by an algorithm,
sure.
An algorithm that I don't control. And federal laws that prohibit children from watching ads that have, that are personalized. Yeah. I created this meme, and I'm going to share it on Facebook. It's a kid with his thumbs up like this, and it says, "Thank you, Federal Trade Commission, for protecting me from age-appropriate content."
Yeah, sure. And the funny part is what was just on the box, this internet box, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. Yeah. The stuff that was on there was like beyond like disturbing. Yeah. And now
it's crazy, man.
Now they're, yeah.
I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. They called me weak, like I'm just somebody's daughter.
Like I'm not just somebody's daughter.
There's a big difference between what she wrote and what I said.
That's hard to like
I'm not just somebody's daughter. Oh, dude, that's so interesting. I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. Oh, man. Do you ever have those mornings? I did when I was a kid all the time, where you try to open your eyes, but you were too tired to.
Oh, yeah.
And
or
then
like
you feel
in
like
your dream? Is that what you're talking about? Or just,
I don't know if it was a dream or real. I don't know. But like you try to open your eyes. Maybe it was a dream. I don't know. But it feels like you're trying to open your eyes, but you're too exhausted to and you can't. Kind of the same feeling.
I know like the middle of the night waking up thing where that kind of happens.
Yeah.
I've had that. Or where you can open your eyes but can't move your body.
Oh, I've never had that.
Right?
You have that?
I've had that before, sure. Yeah, where like you open your eyes and you can't move your body.
Oh,
and
do you freak out?
I have to go back to sleep. Otherwise, I think I knew what it was when it happened.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't recall a time when I didn't know that I just needed to rest and go back to
Right.
bed. But that's, I think, when people say they like, that's where like alien abduction stories supposedly come from, is like, because you're freaking out and you start seeing things that you.
Do you know the crazy thing about alien abduction stories is a lot of them have, I'm not saying I'm a believer necessarily, but a lot of them have a radioactive pattern around the site.
Oh.
People that have gone in to like study the case, they have these, whatever they're called, to measure the radiation, and there's a pattern.
Thanks, Egon.
It's crazy.
Egon.
Yeah,
Egon.
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. All right. Yeah, I got to make sure that my sarcasm is getting across.
They call me weak like I'm not just somebody's daughter. So they're calling me weak, but I'm just a human too. I'm equal to the rest of you.
Yeah.
It could have been a nightmare, but it felt like they were right there. And it feels like yesterday was a year ago, but I don't want to let anybody know because everybody wants something from me now, and I don't want to let them down.
So there's that pressure. That pressure. I mean, I don't want to imagine. But, I mean, I think everybody has a little bit of that. Especially, once again, I think if you go out, venture on your own in some kind of artistic, creative aspect, like, you know, maybe you don't feel the exact same, but you definitely feel like there's pressure there that you can't,
Right.
But, you know, fans have to suck a little bit to some extent.
Yeah.
So, all right, what do we got? So that's another underwater. That's another one of her dreams. That's the music video, right?
Yeah.
I never had trapped underwater dreams.
No.
Mine was always, I would be on a bike and I'd go off a ramp into the Grand Canyon and I'd wake up right before I hit the ground.
Oh, I have falling dreams a lot.
Over and over and over again.
You jump?
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to do that again. But I've always been kind of adrenaline junkie. But man, actually, I did just have a dream about that I wrote down. And guess what? You were driving the car. I totally forgot that. I had a dream. I knew you were going to take the car and you were going to. I like have a huge fear of coming back on an icy road from McCall, which is a city about an hour away from where we are, and going to that river in the winter and not being able to get my kids out and not being able to get out. And just like, even if you get out, the water's so cold, you're just going to freeze.
Yeah.
And I had a dream that I knew you were going to drive us off of this little cliff into the water, and we did. And it filled up so fast I couldn't brake. And the same kind of idea, when you're asleep and you're trying to do the movements in your real life, but you can't do them in real life, so you can't do them in the dream.
Yeah.
I couldn't move from the sitting position, and then I was just drowning, and I was like, oh, dang, that's the end.
Would you freeze to death first, or would you drown first?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I don't know. I mean, I think me, right? Like, I'm going to be ninja, right? I'm going to get the window down just enough. It's going to fill up just enough to when I get it. Then I'm going to, probably hypothermia.
Yeah.
Hypothermia.
Geez, that's a terrible dream, especially with children in the car.
Yeah.
That's
the
awful.
Children. I mean, I'm okay with dying.
Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be there, like, to be responsible for my kids dying. That's
that's crappy.
harrowing.
Yeah.
They used to have that little tool that you could have in your car.
I know, dude. Yeah, to break it.
Break the glass. No, well, you're screwed, right? When we talk about that, you're screwed if you're in that new Tesla truck.
Yeah. Yeah. It won't break. It won't break.
Sorry, bulletproof. Maybe it won't fill with water, though, either.
Oh, that's cool. I don't know. Like short circuits.
Just shocks you.
You just get electrocuted.
All right, we got one more verse here. If I knew it all then, would I do it again? Would I do it again? If they knew what they said would go straight to my head, what would they say instead? If I knew it all, then would I do it again? Would I do it again? If they knew what they said, would it go straight to my head? Dude, that's so interesting because I think this is one of the things we've lacked today is that I'm going to say something and you're going to say something and you're still responsible for what you say, even if it's on social, right? So if you're going to say something to me, if you knew what that was going to do to me, would you have said that? Like, I love this throwing the personal responsibility back on the fans and like the people. Like, you're responsible for the things you say and you don't know how that hurts other people. And you should probably think about what you're saying before you say it.
Whoa.
It's my side.
Yeah.
Right? If I she's saying, for me personally, if I knew this was going to happen, would I do it? And for you, if you knew what that was going to do, would you have done it?
Right.
And it's like everyone needs to take a big dose of personal responsibility about everything that you do and say.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're right.
There's like a philosophy of, I'm pretty sure it's Jungian philosophy that if you really want things to be good in the world, then you're responsible 100% for everything that happens in the world. And I'm responsible 100% for everything that happens in the world. There's no splitting this up, because soon as at your work or in your family or anything, you want to start shaving off blame and giving it to somebody else so that you don't feel like you're responsible, that is the end of goodness.
That's fair.
So
yeah,
I think that's a deep, interesting idea. Well,
I would agree.
I think it's deep.
I think it's deep.
It doesn't need to be deep.
It's great.
It's shallow.
It's
This
great.
is shallow. Yeah. So I like this. I like her lyrics a lot. I like the monotony of the song. I like how it's, I feel like it fits in all these different ways. And, I think this idea of personal responsibility in there is really interesting. I can't imagine what people who are famous actually go through with social media.
Right.
Like, don't read your comments.
They probably just have to stay off of it.
Yeah.
You'd have to stay sane.
I'm sure everyone, we've been watching a cheerleading documentary on
Netflix?
big cheerleading school. And
I haven't seen it.
One of the main girls in there is really famous on social, and she's had to deal with a lot of that.
Oh,
That's just so sad to see people go, like, people internalize the comments that are made about them.
Oh yeah.
You can't help that.
You can't.
And it's like, there's a lot of our society today that's very negative and hurtful because there's like a little bit of like, you don't see me, so I can say
anything I want. People say things online that they would never say in person.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know, right?
Ever.
And that's why my go-to is not saying anything at all.
Yeah. Safe.
Abraham Lincoln, right? Pretty sure it's him. He used to write these elongated, elaborate letters to his generals, chiding them, and then he would never send them because it was his way of getting, like, if you have angry things to say, write them out.
Yeah.
It's good.
Sure.
But don't send them.
Yeah.
That's kind of your best advice, right?
I think it's fair. That's very wise.
So, Billie Eilish, thank you.
Great song.